It's Madden NFL 23 on EA Sports. And we'll get a look here at Devontae Adams. He rises when it matters most as he comes in third in the NFL in touchdown receptions. It's the Packers and the Vikings. All that and more coming up next.
There's a look at one of the most iconic sports venues in the lower 48, built back in 1957 under the title of City Stadium. We are at Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Today, the curtain falls on the regular season, and we've got a good one in store between the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And CD, you look at the Packers in this matchup. Their run game has proven superior so far this season, but that could change this week because now they face the best defensive front in the NFL. It won't be easy for them, Charles, to let that ground game do the heavy lifting like they usually do.
I think you're right about that, and I'll guarantee they have a backup plan in place. I also don't think they want to shy away from what they do best, which is running the football. Maybe their style changes a little bit. Maybe the blocking scheme's different, but they're definitely going to test them in the run game before they abandon it.
Here's the former Auburn kicker, Daniel Carlson, to get this one started. And off we go from Lambeau. Taken in at the 3. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. So here comes the Packers offense now onto the field. They're led out by a former #2 overall pick in the draft from BYU at Zach Wilson.
And we all know the scouting report on him. He can attack the field at all levels with a very strong arm and make big-time plays off schedule. We also see a player with confidence and swagger. We see a guy who knows how to lead a team, who knows how to compete, and wants to be great every time he hits the field.
Quickly to the air is Wilson. And incomplete to open things up. Kind of an odd schedule this year. These two teams getting their 2 games in very late in the season. Their first meeting just a few weeks ago, back in Week 15. And it was the visitors getting the win there, so they'll be looking for the sweep back here at home. Play action. Now Wilson. Right side, it's the tight end, Hockenson. Good footwork at the 30. Yeah, he'll work free from one tackle, but that's about all as he's taken down. Third play here, this opening drive as they're up against a 3rd and 5. Throwing is Wilson. And this is going to be incomplete.
That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
And this will carry out of bounds. Where are they going to spot it now? At about the 18-yard line, it looks like. So here come the Vikings as they get set for their first drive. And they will be led out by their signal caller in his 2nd year of the NFL now.
And he just continues to throw touchdown pass after touchdown pass, leading the league here down the final stretch of the year. Guys will say that the numbers and the rankings, they don't matter to him very much. But I don't know how much I actually believe that. Sure, he's team first, but I think everyone would like to see him finish #1, including himself.
They turn to Harris to begin the drive. And he'll find some space up to about the 25. 8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. Looking to throw. Doyle. Man open. That's Jamar Chase complete. And he's going to be marked down just inside the 35.
When they've needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver it. As this season has gone on, he's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. First carry of the game from Zamir White. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. So, CD, here we are. You look at how well this offense has played all year. 16-0. Now, in most years, they'd be at home right now enjoying time off for their perfect season, getting ready for the postseason. But this is the decade of the 2020, so that means 17 games are what's needed to get through a perfect season. Would a win here make them an all-timer for you?
It would. It absolutely would. And I realize we're not comparing apples to apples because of the length of regular seasons. But if you think back to the 1972 Dolphins, they were 14-0 in the regular season. 3 wins made them a Super Bowl champion, so they were 17-0 total. Imagine getting through 17 now and then continuing on and winning the Super Bowl. They're an all-timer team already for me.
And they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12. 7th play of the drive upcoming here on 3rd and 6. Back to throw. Doyle. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Traylon Burks, his first touchdown on the year. And the Vikings have taken the early lead on the road here at Lambeau. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. From the 6. Packers offense here coming back out for their second drive. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt. They're the ones that typically end up in the end zone.
A good gain on first has him set up with second and just a couple of inches now from the 29. There's Wilson to throw. He'll get this out wide here to McCaffrey. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
That was a pretty favorable situation there. What would you call that? Second and manageable? Smart play, too. Didn't force it downfield when he didn't have it. Just checked it down, let him get the first down, and that's exactly what he did.
Now Wilson on first down. Try to get it to Williams, but it's intercepted. Picked up by Charvarius Ward. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Make it back-to-back weeks now with a pick 6 for him. He had one a week ago.
Talk about being in the groove, and what are the odds of what we're seeing right here? You don't see it happen very often. Listen, if you get a pick 6 in a season, it's been a big year, let alone back-to-back weeks. I'll tell you this, I wouldn't play cards against this guy in the locker room.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Fielded just outside the goal line. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. They find themselves in a good-sized hole here, and a good-sized hole early on in this game as they come up on first down. The drive begins with a run by McCaffrey. And some space here. Shifts by him, and he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45. A big hitter there. A first down gain of 26 yards.
I have to admit, I'm excited by that play call and the end result, because this is a team that's down big early in the first quarter, and a lot of teams will just panic, abandon the playbook.
The ball's out. McCaffrey lost it, and the Vikings pick up the football. Always got some break. And the ball is knocked out, and the offense is going to get the ball back. After all that, heck, it'll be a first down. Goodness, nobody wanting to hold on to that football. 2 fumbles, one by each team on the same play. Not something you see every week.
No, not at all. And you and I both know how important possessions are nowadays in the... There's not much difference between teams. So when you get a chance for a takeaway, you've got to hold on to the football yourself. Don't give it right back to them.
Now a run on first down is not going to get off the ground as they will get it behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 3.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
Now on 2nd and 13, Wilson. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. This defense for the Vikings, they were excellent in that win over the 49ers last week.
And that's not the half of it. They forced 7 turnovers in that game, and I know we always talk about turnovers coming in bunches once you force the first one. But 7? That seems almost impossible, but we watched it happen.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And this one is incomplete. To punt on 4th down, here's Rigoberto Sanchez. Fielded at the 20. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10. The Vikings offense making their way back out. Now let's give you a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. Well, we do know, Charles, they will be in the playoffs. They currently sit at pole position number 1, but nothing's set in stone right now. They still have to earn that top spot.
And it makes me reflect back to preseason when you and I do our tours of camps. The prevailing message in each and every one of them was what? Win the division.
Win the division.
Win the division. You know you're in the playoffs. It means something. It means a home game. It means a number of other things, but winning the division is paramount. You're right. They won't step off the gas here.
Now a man open down the middle of the field. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A good pickup there of 20 yards. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Now here's a little touch pass as they tap it quickly to their receiver. And he's going to score. It's a Viking touchdown. Christian Watson with touchdown number 12 on the year. And the Vikings take a 3-touchdown lead. Well, Charles, he's still a young signal caller in this league, 2nd year in the NFL. And I don't know if last year as a rookie, if he would have worked through his progressions like he did on that touchdown pass.
I think you're right about that. We're seeing him grow up right in front of our eyes because when he went to his primary read, he recognized that they were all over that. So he continued to survey the field, picked up another target, delivered a pass exactly where it needed to be. A very mature play for the 2nd-year quarterback.
This will be fielded inside the 5. And he will be taken down here as the first quarter of play will come to an end. Back for the 2nd quarter in Green Bay. It's the Packers in possession of the football. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores. And I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession. But I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit. And if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. On 3rd and 1, Wilson. He gets this to Davante Adams. And he is going to have a Packers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. And now they'll stop play here, at least momentarily. A member of the Vikings in some discomfort after that last play. And this is certainly not what you want to see in the final week of the year. We'll be back. Out to the left there and complete to the tight end, Hawkinson. He's got room at the 30, and they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. 25 yards there on the catch and run.
When you get a big tight end like this, sometimes it takes more than one man to bring him down. Oftentimes, your best bet, just jump on and hold on and wait for your teammates to arrive to help get him on the ground.
Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. To throw is Wilson. Letting one go deep for the end zone. And incomplete on the deep ball. 7th play of the drive, forthcoming on 3rd and 8. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. And able to catch it on the left sideline, but they're going to rule him out of bounds. So it'll be incomplete. Certainly one they'd like to have back as it brings up 4th down. Up and good for Santoso. And the deficit drops now from 21 down to 18. So they do come up with their first points of the game. But Charles, the question is going to shift to their defense.
Yeah, the way things have gone, 3 points could become insignificant fast if this grows to 28-3 or 35-3. They need this defense to come up with a stop, and they need to do it now.
And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. And now out comes Minnesota. This offense looks like they have a little extra pep in their step as they take the field here for drive number 3, because remember, Charles, drives 1 and 2 both ended in the end zone.
Yeah, right now they've just got to be careful not to lean into overconfidence, because every drive has a life of its own. But I like the way that they've started, the way that they're going about doing things right now. They've got a chance for that 3rd consecutive touchdown, and that would be a crushing blow to the defense.
The throw over the middle, taken in. Will go down as a gain of 6, and that's going to make it 3rd down and less than a yard.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
And he will have a Vikings first down as they're able to move the sticks with a gain of 4 on 3rd and inches.
That's about what you would expect since they're so efficient on picking up 3rd downs in the top 5 in the NFL. It's all a mindset, and I guarantee you, it started in the offseason. 3rd down's important to them. They find a way to pick them up at a very good clip.
And he will find his man Chase complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup. Solid catch there for a man who's been so brilliant this year. Worth pointing out, as we were talking about earlier, there has never in the 60-year history of the award been a pass catcher, tight end, or wide receiver that has taken home the MVP trophy.
And the best receivers I've talked with, they know that stat, and it drives them crazy because they understand that without a quarterback, they don't make the plays that they make. They also don't feel like they get enough credit for bailing out some of the throws the quarterbacks make.
Absolutely. Takes 2 to tango. To throw on 2nd down. Doyle over the middle, complete. It's Harris. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5. 7th play of the drive upcoming here on 3rd and 6. A run with Harris out of the shotgun. And he gets this down to the 18. Good enough for a first down. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs. So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. Now here's another carry for Harris. Fights through him. 46 yards rushing for him now on just 6 carries to this point. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. The quick slant caught. That's good for a gain of 6, 2nd and goal. And he's over 100 yards now after that last catch. Already, of course, leading the NFL in receiving yardage.
So he's done nothing at all to hurt his cause to stay in that spot. But I've been so impressed with how he's gotten it done. Body can...
He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. Great dosage. Touchdown reception. And the Vikings are able to widen their lead here in this first half. extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the rout is on here in this first half. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. Fields it right around the goal line. The Packer offense now ready to get back onto the field. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I've never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them want to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Another try after the first down sack. Wilson. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. On 3rd down, Wilson. He's got a man, complete. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. And he'll follow his blockers there all the way down to the 23-yard line. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. And he's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. Now another timeout called for by the offense as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Now they're in some hot water now after that sack. It's 2nd and 21. Wilson. Throw right side, complete to Williams. And he's brought down inside the 20 at the 18-yard line. Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5. Now Wilson. Got a man complete. It's Hamler. And the Packers are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points. Now the offense will burn their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. Now it's Wilson. A quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete.
They're putting together a drive here in the final minutes of the half, but the coverage has been tight all game long, and they certainly want to keep them off the scoreboard here.
On 2nd and goal, Wilson eluding the pressure, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Multiple defenders in there to bring him down as this quarter comes to an end. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. It's all down to this. Week 18 of the NFL regular season. Lots to be decided, so let's get right to it. We'll begin out in the windy city of Chicago, and that one tied 3-3 in the 2nd quarter. From there, we head over to MetLife Stadium to check in on the Jets. And you can see there, it's the visiting LA Rams who have the lead in that one. Justin Herbert with 2 touchdown passes. Finally, let's get to Indianapolis. Check on the Colts at home at Lucas Oil Stadium. And they trail in that ball game to the visiting 10.
Only 2 quarters of football left in the regular season. Everybody's excited to get to the playoffs. So excited that we're just going to skip right over halftime and get back to the action. All right, Coach, thank you. And we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. And he'll be brought down at the 28-yard line, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone gets him 3 more. And as this offense makes their way back out, NFC playoff race time, we give you a look at what's going on there. Well, here we sit, week 17. Just one more week in the regular season after this one. So if you're one of these teams trying to make a move and improve your spot or jump in from the outside, Charles, you better make that move now.
And these final games are often a good barometer for all those teams fighting for position or a wild card spot. They have to be able to get the job done these last 2 weeks before things get even tougher when the playoffs officially begin.
Now a first down carry for Harris. And he fights forward for a modest 2-yard gain, second down.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football, getting him on the ground. But I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
On second down, there's the option going left. He'll get 2 on the keeper, but it becomes now a third down.
Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one because when you run him on short gains, your risk-reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the payoff they were looking for.
And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 23 yards, the final tally. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense. Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
Looking to throw on second down. Doyle. And he's going to be brought down at about the 16.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
They'll try to pick this up on the ground with White. And he takes it down to the 13 and picks up the first. They're able to convert with a gain of 4. So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. Escaping the pressure right. And he's not able to get away. Sacked back at the 22. Matt Judon, the outside linebacker, coming up to drop him for a loss of a full 10 yards. And the job becomes twice as difficult now after the sack. It's 2nd and 20. Looking to throw. Doyle. This one taken in by Otten. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2.
Oh, it's time to give more credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
Got his man, it's Dulcich. And he'll be marked down right at the 15-yard line. So on 4th down, on comes the Viking kicker, Daniel Carlson. This just 32 yards officially from the right hash. The kick by Carlson is good, and that will extend their lead even further. Well, they picked up right where they left off in the first half. First drive after the break, they come away with 3 and increase that lead.
Yeah, and you just want to keep building on that lead, don't you? Whether it's 6 points or 3 points, take everything you can get, keep maneuvering, keep adding to it, keep making it difficult for them to come back.
This take it in at the goal line. So here are the Packers now. They get set for their first possession of half number 2. CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. That's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late, that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one.
They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down. Now it's Wilson. throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
I'm getting the sense that this offense is getting frustrated. Here we are into the third quarter, and they've had plenty of opportunities to get in sync. Thus far, that hasn't happened. They're looking for answers both on the sidelines and in the huddle looking at each other.
A pair of first downs gives them a 1st and 10 up at the 44. They go play action with Wilson. Throw over the middle, he finds Williams. And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Wilson will throw again. Open man Hamler, that's complete. And he'll be taken down here just shy of the 30. Now it looks like we'll get a timeout, and we will. We've got an injured Packer on the field. Now this is just the last thing you want to see in the final week of the regular season. Well, I hope he's okay. We'll step aside and be right back. Well, they've gone to their fullback quite a bit. He'll get it again. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. A big hitter there. A first down gain of 26 yards. And they'll turn to the power game and try to get in. And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. And they'll let the fullback try and take him home. And he's going to press this one forward as they stop him right around the 1. Hammering for the goal line. He loses the football. One quarter remains here as the regular season starts to wind down. Back now at Lambeau. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4.
Here we go. Set.
Here we go. It's Wilson on 4th down. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked up by Talanoa Hufanga. And the Vikings are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. CD, I know from working with you that you're about as old school as they come. Your thoughts on throwing that ball from the 1-yard line?
Yeah, I just got done walking my dinosaur, as you well know, and ordinarily I'm screaming, run the football from the 1-yard line. But if you are going to throw it, just take extra care. That didn't happen there, and they turned the ball over.
And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. 61 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far. Historically, this is such a tough, loud venue, but you can hear a pin drop right now. A lot of fans long gone, not used to seeing a lopsided score like this. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Oh, when coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all 3 phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back to the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we have been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. Fielded just outside the goal line. Green Bay's offense ready to go again. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but The self-inflicted wounds. They've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Flushed out right. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. Wilson smart to take off and run with it as he's able to pick up the first.
It hasn't been the cleanest game for him, but there was a sign of improvement as he looks towards the next one. Nice bit of scrambling to move the sticks, and even more importantly, he didn't risk adding another interception to his ledger.
And intercepted. Wilson's third of the game. Picked off by Pete Werner. And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football. But with this advantage, this defense knew that passes were coming, and they stayed in position, Charles, and picked one off here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, what a way to cap things off, huh? Because I think this is part of the game within the game. They see the scoreboard, they see what they can accomplish, and they went for it.
Harris running straight ahead. Now the ball comes loose, and the Packers pick it up. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And they had just picked it off to get the football. They fumble it right back. I looked over to both sidelines. A lot of scrambling to find the helmets.
Yeah, you can almost, I mean, you know both sides are screaming sudden change. Because when sudden change happens, that's a defensive call to get back out on the field. There's been a fumble, so an interception, some type of a turnover. You've got to get back out there and play. These guys just want to get to the bench and gather themselves and regroup a little bit. Let's see if these offenses can settle in and start taking care of the ball a little bit better.
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Wilson. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Aiden Hutchinson. Credit him with a sack as he buries him for a loss of 10. This offense so far on 3rd down, they're at 50%, 4 for 8. This will be 3rd and forever. Here's Wilson. Right side, it's Hamler pulling it in. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion. And it'll be 4th down. Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez, standing about a yard deep in his own end zone. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. That'll go as a punt of 34 yards that time. And it will be Vikings ball, 1st and 10. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I
we
enjoy.
share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones, and it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it #1 for what we've seen this season.
And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down to about the 21 or 22. 3 yards to go on 2nd down, and they've got 3 tight ends out there. Jumbo set. Now a throw here to his running back. And they're going to be set up now with a ball at the 15-yard line.
To bring it back that confidently, you don't have to call the game in fear at all, do you? You just go ahead and play.
Yep, confidence with a lead to throw it here in the 4th, and boom, he's on the money.
Yeah, you don't have to tuck your head in and go like turtle at this point. You can just go ahead and play.
Oh, they're going to run a little pop pass here. Down to the 6-yard line on a pickup of 6 as he gets halfway to the goal line.
And a lot of times these plays, they either go for nothing or they go for big yardage. And here, they got to the outside, turned it upfield, and ended up getting a nice little gain out of it.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Caught on the slant. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down. And looking to put this game on ice in the 4th quarter, but still not afraid to throw it as they show there.
You want to play the game with confidence, and they have a guy who's in control right now. their trigger guy, throwing it, they feel just as confident with him doing that as they would if they tried to run the ball and run the clock out.
And he is not going to get through here on try number 1. They stop him at the goal line. Another shot from the 1 on 2nd and goal. Off the play fake. Doyle on the move to his left. And he's going to go down. Sacked back at the 13-yard line. Brought down by multiple defenders, and it's a loss of 12.
When you're this close to the goal line, you got to expect pressure from the defense, so the ball's got to come out fast. Got to get out of his hands quicker.
3rd and goal as they look to pour some more salt in the wound. Operating from the gun. Doyle, he's got it. Give him 13 yards on the connection, but not enough. 4th down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They come up on a 4th and goal as they look to finish this one off. On 4th down, Doyle, and they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. Carlson now to add the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. That time a 9-play drive, and it's polished off by a Viking score. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. And that one bounces out of the back of the end zone, so we'll start the drive at the 25 on the touchback. The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field.
Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try to hit the reset.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football. Another great play defensively. They've been sharp on both sides of the ball, Charles, but that interception means that this defense very well keep them down to single digits on the scoreboard in this game.
And that's certainly something to smile about, isn't it, partner, if you're on defense? Because your goal every game is to pitch a shutout, but you and I both know that's pretty unrealistic. But to hold a team below double figures in a game, in an NFL game, that's certainly something to take pride in.
And they're going to get this down inside the 15.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
That one looks like he'll throw here. Firing quickly, but it's incomplete.
Well, at this juncture, CD, you normally see teams pack in the passing game. They've got the huge lead. Not them, though. They're still taking their shots.
I remember reading in past history, there was a college football coach in the Hall of Fame whose nickname was Close the Gates of Mercy. He wasn't really big on that. He was big on go ahead and scoring. He's got it.
And he's going to go down. Sacked back at the 13-yard line. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages.
Over the middle, that's caught by Chase.
Now another timeout called for by the offense. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play.
Now, they'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is 3rd and goal.
Back to throw. Doyle. He rifles one that's in. Now he's hit on the return. It's a loose football. Well, do you want to unpack that one, or do you want me to?
You're the boss.
We get the interception, then really he's just too loose with the football on the return, and he coughs it right back up the other way.
I've seen this happen in an NFL game, and boy, did it cost someone. San Francisco at Atlanta a few seasons ago. Atlanta throws the interception. San Francisco runs it back. Game is salted away. Fumbles on the return. Atlanta gets it back, drives down, kicks the game-winning field goal.
How about that? And a crazy situation we just saw there. 2nd and 2. And give them another 6. It's caught for a touchdown. And the run continues.
Business as usual for them. Well on their way to another victory. Riding a serious wave of momentum from what we've seen. And so far, they haven't met their match. So if you're going to play this team in the future, your mission is clear. You better be ready to play and match their firepower.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. One last shot for Wilson. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that will be incomplete as time has run out on this football game.
And as this defense walks off the field, they can do so with their heads held high. What a performance by the offense, too. I mean, really, Charles, just complete domination on both sides of the football here in this one.
Certainly was, and I think both sides compete against each other all the time. You go at each other in practice, obviously your training camps, your off-season. But on game day, you both want to show your best. And I think that's what we saw from both the offense and the defense, a complete team victory.
So for the Vikings,
they finish off a perfect regular season, 17-0.
And now they'll have the week off as they get set to go after a Super Bowl title. Meanwhile, for the Packers,
the loss means they'll finish at 11-6 overall.
And it's going to be wait-and-see time as they figure out their status for the upcoming playoffs.